She buried her past so deep she thought it would never find her. But the truth about who she used to be was about to walk straight into her marriage, uninvited. And when it did, love didn't stand a chance. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this story. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, because this story is about to get intense. Now let's begin. The house was quiet, too quiet, the kind of silence that didn't bring peace, but tension. Amara stood in the kitchen, her hands trembling slightly as she poured tea into 2 cups. Her eyes kept drifting toward the living room, where her husband sat. Still, cold, watching, waiting. "Daniel," she called softly. "Your tea is getting cold." No response, just the ticking of the clock. Tick, tick, tick. Finally he spoke, his voice low, controlled, but burning underneath. "Who is Victor?" Amara froze. The cup slipped slightly in her hand, the hot tea spilling over her fingers, but she didn't feel it. What did you say?" she whispered. Daniel stood up slowly, holding his phone. "I'll ask again," he said, walking toward her. "Who is Victor? And why is he sending my wife messages at midnight?" Amara's heart slammed against her chest. It's nothing," she stammered. "Just someone I used to know. It's not important." Daniel laughed, but there was no humor in it. "Not important?" he repeated. He said, "You can't hide forever. I know who you really are." He stepped closer. "Does that sound like not important to you?" The tension builds. Amara looked away. That one message, it had shattered everything she worked so hard to build. "I was going to tell you," she said quietly. "When?" Daniel snapped. "After he showed up at our door? After he exposed whatever this is?" "It's not what you think." "Then tell me what it is," he shouted. Silence, heavy, painful. Amara's lips trembled. I had a life before you," she began slowly. "A life I'm not proud of." Daniel's jaw tightened. "Go on." She shook her head. "No, not like this, please." "Like what, Amara?" He exploded. "Like a husband finding out his wife is hiding something dark? A crack in the perfect marriage." Tears filled her eyes. "I was trying to protect us," she whispered. Daniel scoffed. "No, you were protecting yourself." He turned away, running his hand through his hair. 3 years, Amara," he said. 3 years of marriage, and I don't even know who I married." That hit her. Hard. "You know me," she cried. "You know my heart. You know how much I love you." "Do I?" he cut in sharply. He turned back, eyes filled with anger and something worse. Doubt. "Because right now," he said slowly, "I feel like I married a stranger." The secret threatens to surface. Her phone buzzed again. Both of them looked at it. Another message. Victor. Daniel grabbed it before she could react. "Daniel, don't. Too late." He read it out loud. "Tell your husband the truth, or I will." Silence. Dead silence. Daniel lowered the phone slowly, then looked at her. This time, no anger, just cold realization. "What is he talking about?" he asked. Amara broke. Her knees weakened, and she held onto the counter. "I didn't want you to find out like this," she cried. "Find out what?" Daniel demanded. She looked up at him, tears streaming down her face, and then she said it. "I wasn't always the woman you met." Daniel said nothing. "I was desperate," she continued. "Broken. Alone. I had nothing." Her voice cracked. "And I did things I'm ashamed of." Daniel's face hardened. "What things, Amara?" She hesitated. This was the moment, the line she had avoided for years. But now there was no escaping it, the truth almost revealed. "I used to," she began, but the words wouldn't come out. Daniel stepped closer. "Say it." "I used to sell my body," she whispered. The room went still. Even the air felt heavy. Daniel blinked, once, twice, as if his mind refused to process it. "What did you just say?" he asked quietly. Amara broke down completely. "I was an improstitute," she sobbed. "I had no choice. I was trying to survive." Daniel staggered back slightly, as if her words physically hit him. "No," he muttered. "No, that's not possible." "It's the truth," she cried. "But that's not who I am anymore." The shock, Daniel laughed again, but this time it was broken. "So all this time," he said slowly, my wife, he shook his head. "You lied to me." "I didn't lie," she cried. I couldn't tell you. I was scared." "Scared of what?" he snapped. "That I wouldn't marry you?" She said nothing, and that silence answered everything, the first crack of destruction. Daniel stepped back, creating distance between them. "I need air," he said. "Daniel, please, don't," he warned. She froze. He looked at her one last time, and this time there was no love in his eyes. "I don't even know who you are anymore." Those words cut deeper than anything. He walked out. The door slammed, and just like that, the marriage that once felt unbreakable started to crumble. Amara collapsed to the floor, crying uncontrollably. Her past, the one she thought she buried forever, had just destroyed her present. But what she didn't know was this. Victor wasn't done, not even close, and the next move he was about to make would ruin everything. Her secret is out. Her husband is gone, and the one man who knows everything is just getting started. This isn't just about the past anymore. This is war. Sit back, relax, and enjoy, and don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe because the truth is about to get darker. The night after, the house felt empty. Not just quiet, empty. Amara sat on the cold floor long after Daniel had left. Her tears had dried, but the pain, it sat heavy in her chest like a stone. She kept staring at the door, waiting, hoping. "Please come back," she whispered. But deep down, she knew things would never be the same again. A new message. Her phone buzzed again. This time, she didn't hesitate. She grabbed it. Victor. Her hands shook as she opened the message. "I see you finally told him. Took you long enough." Her chest tightened. She quickly typed back, "Amara, what do you want from me, Victor? Why are you doing this?" The reply came instantly. "Victor, because you don't get to walk away like nothing happened." Her breathing grew heavier. "Amara, that life is over. I left it behind. You left me behind." She froze. That line, it carried something deeper, something personal. The past comes alive. Her mind drifted dark rooms, loud music, men with faces she tried to forget. And Victor, he wasn't just a stranger. He was part of that life. A dangerous part. Flashback, years ago. "Amara, you don't have a choice," Victor said, leaning against the wall, his voice calm but threatening. A younger Amara stood before him, scared but defiant. "I'm done, Victor," she said. "I don't want this anymore." Victor chuckled. "Nobody just leaves," he replied. "You owe money. You owe loyalty." "I'll pay you back," she cried. "I'll do anything, just not this anymore." Victor stepped closer. "You already are doing anything," he whispered coldly. Back to present. Amara dropped her phone like it burned her. "No," she whispered. "Not again. I can't go back there." Daniel. Lost and angry. Meanwhile, Daniel sat in his car, parked outside a bar, but he hadn't gone in. He just sat there, hands gripping the steering wheel. Her words replayed in his head over and over again. "I was an prostitute." He closed his eyes tightly. "This can't be real," he muttered. His phone rang. It was his friend Tunde. Daniel hesitated, then picked up. "Bro, where are you?" Tunde asked. "You left the house? What happened?" Daniel laughed bitterly. "You wouldn't believe me if I told you." "Try me." Daniel paused, then said it. "My wife has been lying to me." Silence on the other end. "What kind of lie?" Tunde asked carefully. Daniel swallowed hard. "She used to sell her body." Another silence. Longer this time. "Are you serious?" Tunde finally said. "I wish I wasn't." Doubt and influence. "Bro, that's heavy," Tunde said. "But listen, people have pasts." "Don't," Daniel cut him off. "Don't try to defend this. I'm not defending it. I'm just saying, she let me marry her without telling me," Daniel snapped. "Do you understand that?" Tunde sighed. "So what are you going to do?" Daniel looked ahead blankly. "I don't know," he said quietly, "but I can't look at her the same way anymore." The threat escalates. Back at the house, another message. Amara slowly picked up her phone again. This time, it wasn't just a text, it was a picture. Her eyes widened. Her breathing stopped. It was an old photo, her, from years ago, dressed in a way she had tried to forget, standing beside Victor. Proof. Evidence. A weapon. No, she whispered. Then another message came in. "Victor, imagine if your husband sees this." Tears filled her eyes instantly. "Please, don't do this. Then come see me." Her heart dropped. "Where?" The reply came with a location and a time. Tonight. The impossible choice. Amara stood up slowly, her legs weak. "If I go, I might lose everything," she whispered. "If I don't," she looked at the photo again, "I'll definitely lose everything." Daniel returns briefly. The door suddenly opened. Amara turned sharply. "Daniel?" He walked in, but something about him had changed. He looked distant, cold. "I just came to get some things," he said flatly. Her heart shattered all over again. "You're leaving?" she asked, her voice breaking. "I need space." "Daniel, please, we can fix this." "Fix what?" he interrupted. "A life built on lies?" "It wasn't a lie," she cried. "It was my past. And you should have told me," he shouted. Silence fell again. A desperate plea. Amara stepped closer. "I love you," she said softly. "Everything I've been since I met you, that's real." Daniel looked at her. For a moment, just a moment, there was conflict in his eyes. But then it hardened again. "I don't know what's real anymore," he said. The secret meeting decision. Her phone buzzed again. Daniel noticed. Still texting him? He asked coldly. She quickly hid the phone. It's nothing, he laughed. Of course it is. That did it. She made her decision. I'm going out, she said suddenly. Daniel frowned. At this time, I need to fix something, she replied. The cliffhanger. Night fell. The city grew quiet, and Amara stood in front of a dark building, her heart pounding like a drum. She looked at her phone one last time. Victor's message stared back at her. Come alone or your husband gets everything. She took a deep breath and stepped inside. But what she didn't know was that someone had followed her, watching, waiting, and whatever was about to happen in that building would change everything forever. To be continued in part 3. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and tell us, should Amara have gone to meet Victor, or was that her biggest mistake? She walked into the darkness to protect her marriage, but some pasts don't stay buried, and some people don't let you go without a price. Tonight, Amara is about to find out the real cost of her freedom. Sit back, relax, and enjoy, and don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, because the truth is about to explode. The dark building. The door creaked as Amara stepped inside. The air was thick, heavy, the kind that made your skin crawl. Her heels echoed softly against the floor as she moved deeper into the building. Victor, she called out, her voice shaking. No answer, just silence. Then a slow clap. Clap, clap, clap. Well, a familiar voice echoed from the shadows. You actually came. Amara froze. Victor stepped forward, a smirk on his face. You haven't changed, he said, eyeing her. Still desperate to fix things. The confrontation. Why are you doing this? Amara demanded, trying to steady her voice. I left that life. I didn't hurt you. Victor laughed. You didn't hurt me? He repeated. You disappeared. You cost me money. You broke the rules. I was trying to survive, she shot back. I was dying in that life, Victor. He stepped closer. And now you're living happily ever after? He asked coldly. Married? Comfortable? Pretending you're innocent? I'm not pretending, she said. I changed. Victor's smile faded. People like us don't change, he said quietly. We just hide better. The demand, Amara took a deep breath. What do you want? She asked. Victor didn't hesitate. You owe me, he said, and it's time to pay. Her stomach dropped. I told you, I don't have that kind of money. I'm not asking for money. Silence. Amara's heart began to race. Then what do you want? She whispered. Victor leaned in slightly. You. Her eyes widened. No, she said immediately. No, I'm not going back to that life. You don't have a choice. I do, she snapped. I have a husband, a life. Victor pulled out his phone and waved it in front of her, with one message that life disappears. Pressure and fear. Amara shook her head, backing away. You can't do this, she said. You can't force me. I already am, Victor interrupted. He showed her more photos, more evidence, more pieces of the past she had buried. Imagine your husband seeing all of this, he said. Imagine everyone knowing exactly who you used to be. Tears streamed down her face. Please, she begged. I've suffered enough. Victor's face didn't change. Not enough, he said coldly. The shocking offer. Here's the deal, he continued. You come back, just for a while. Her heart pounded. No, or he cut in. I send everything to your husband tonight. Silence. Dead silence. Amara's world spun. This wasn't just blackmail. This was a trap. Unexpected interruption. Suddenly, a voice from behind. That's enough. Both of them turned. Amara's eyes widened in shock. Daniel? He stepped forward from the shadows. His face was hard, unreadable, but his eyes burning. The truth collides. Victor smirked. Well, this just got interesting, he said. The husband shows up. Amara shook her head in disbelief. You followed me? She asked. Daniel didn't look at her. I needed to know the truth, he said. He looked at Victor. And now I do. The confrontation between men. Daniel stepped closer. You think you can threaten my wife? He said, his voice low and dangerous. He said. Victor chuckled. Your wife? He repeated. Do you even know who she is? Daniel's jaw tightened. I know enough. Victor tilted his head. Do you? He asked. Because the woman you married, she belonged to me once. Stop, Amara screamed. But it was too late. The damage was done. Daniel's breaking point. Daniel turned to her slowly. Is that true? He asked. Tears rolled down her face. I didn't belong to him, she said. I was trapped. There's a difference. But Daniel's expression didn't soften. You went from him to me, he said quietly. That's not what this is, she cried. The ultimate threat. Victor clapped his hands once. All right, enough drama, he said. Let's make this simple. He looked at Daniel. Your wife owes me, he said, and if she doesn't pay, he raised his phone. You get everything. Daniel stared at him, unflinching. Do it, he said. Amara gasped. Daniel, no, Victor blinked. Excuse me? I said do it, Daniel repeated. Send whatever you have. The room went still. The unexpected turn. Amara shook her head frantically. No, please, Daniel. But Daniel didn't look at her. I'm tired of lies, he said. If there's more, I want to see it. Victor studied him carefully, then slowly smiled. Careful what you wish for, he said. He tapped his phone. Message sent. The devastating moment. Daniel's phone buzzed instantly. He looked down at it, opened the message. His face didn't change at first, then slowly, very slowly, the pain appeared. His breathing became uneven. Amara stepped forward. Daniel, she whispered. And this time, there was no confusion, no doubt, just heartbreak. The cliffhanger. Was any of it real? He asked quietly. Amara's heart shattered. Everything was real, she cried. My love for you is real. But Daniel stepped back, as if her words couldn't reach him anymore. And Victor just watched, satisfied. Because in that moment, he hadn't just exposed her past, he had destroyed her future. To be continued in part 4. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and tell us, did Daniel do the right thing by forcing the truth, or did he just destroy his own marriage? The truth is out, the lies are shattered, and the man she loved just watched her past destroy everything. But the real question is, was it the past that broke the marriage, or the way he chose to see her after it? Sit back, relax, and enjoy. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, because this story just took a painful turn. The silence after the storm. The room felt suffocating. Amara stood frozen, tears streaming endlessly. Daniel stared at his phone like it held the weight of the world. Victor leaned back, calm, satisfied. Now, Victor said slowly, everyone knows the truth, but no one responded, because in that moment, nothing needed to be said. Daniel walks away. Again, Daniel lifted his eyes. He looked at Amara, really looked at her, as if trying to match the woman he loved with the images now burned into his mind. I can't, he said quietly. Amara's heart dropped. Daniel, please. I can't do this, he repeated, and then he turned and walked away. Again, Daniel, she cried, running after him, but he didn't stop, didn't turn, didn't even hesitate. The door slammed shut behind him, and this time it sounded permanent. The breakdown. Amara collapsed, right there on the cold floor, her hands pressed against her chest as she cried uncontrollably. I lost him, she whispered. I lost everything. Victor watched her, no emotion, no sympathy. Not everything, he said. She slowly looked up at him, her eyes filled with pain, but now something else too. Anger. Anger rises. You think you've won? She said, her voice shaking. Victor raised an eyebrow. Haven't I? She stood up slowly. You didn't destroy me, she said. You just showed me exactly who you are. Victor chuckled. Oh, I've always shown you who I am. No, she replied firmly. I was just too scared to fight back. A shift in power. Victor's smile faded slightly. Careful, he warned. You're in no position to act strong. Amara wiped her tears. For years, I let you control me, she said. I let fear keep me silent. She stepped closer, but not anymore. Victor's eyes narrowed. What are you saying? The first signs of courage. I'm saying I'm done running, she replied. I'm done hiding. Victor laughed again. From what? The truth is already out. Good, she said. That caught him off guard. Good, he repeated. Yes, she said, because now I have nothing left to lose. Silence. That one line changed everything. Victor's final play. Victor's expression hardened. You still don't get it, do you? He said. I can ruin you even more. Do it, she replied calmly. He paused, surprised. You think I'm scared of you anymore? She continued. You already took the one thing I was afraid of losing. Her voice broke slightly. My marriage. Victor studied her carefully. Something had changed, and he could feel it. The warning. This isn't over, he said. It is for me, she replied. You can't just walk away, he snapped. She tilted her head slightly. Watch me. A woman reborn. Amara picked up her bag, her movements steady now, controlled, different. Victor stepped in front of her. You really think your husband will take you back after this? He asked. That one question hit deep, but she didn't show it. That's not up to you anymore, she said. And if he doesn't? Victor pushed. She took a deep breath, then said the hardest thing she's ever had to say. Then I'll learn to live without him. The exit. Victor moved aside slowly, not because he wanted to, but because something in her eyes told him he couldn't control her anymore. Amara walked past him, step by step, without looking back, and for the first time in years, she felt free. Daniel. Alone with his thoughts outside, Daniel sat in his car again, but this time, he wasn't angry. He was broken. He stared at the photos on his phone, then closed them quickly, as if they burned. She lied, he whispered, but then another thought crept in. She was suffering. He clenched his jaw, conflicted, confused, torn between love and judgment. The inner battle. His phone rang again. Tunde. Guy, what's happening? Tunde asked. You sound off. Daniel sighed heavily. I saw everything, he said. And? Daniel hesitated. I don't know what to feel, he admitted. Do you still love her? Tunde asked. Silence. Long. Heavy. Then, yes. The real question. Then what's the problem? Tunde said. Daniel shook his head. The problem is, I don't know if I can accept her past. Tunde didn't respond immediately, then finally said, or maybe you don't know if you can accept what people will say. That hit hard. The cliffhanger. Meanwhile, Amara walked alone down the dark street, her heart still broken, but her spirit stronger. Her past is no longer hidden. Her husband is no longer sure. And the man who tried to control her is still watching. But this part? This is where everything changes, because love alone might not be enough to save a broken marriage. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, because this story is far from over. The morning after. Morning came quietly. Too quietly. No laughter, no shared breakfast, no good morning kisses, just silence. Daniel sat on the edge of his bed, staring at nothing. He hadn't slept. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw those pictures. Every time he breathed, he heard her voice. I was trying to survive. He rubbed his face, exhausted. Why didn't you tell me? He whispered to himself. Amara, a different kind of pain. Across town, Amara sat in a small room. Not her home. Not anymore. Her friend Ifeoma handed her a cup of tea. You didn't sleep, did you? Ifeoma asked gently. Amara shook her head. I keep replaying everything, she said softly. The moment he looked at me like I was nothing. Ifeoma sat beside her. You're not nothing. Amara gave a weak smile. Try telling that to the man I love. A conversation about truth. You should have told him, Ifeoma said carefully. Amara nodded slowly. I know. So why didn't you? Tears filled her eyes again. Because I was scared, she admitted. Scared that if he knew, he wouldn't see me the same way. And now, Amara let out a painful laugh. Now I know I was right. Back to Daniel. The weight of judgment, Daniel stood in front of the mirror, looking at himself. You're angry, he muttered. But at what? At her? At the past? Or at himself for not seeing it? His phone buzzed. Another message from Tunde. Have you talked to her? Daniel typed, then deleted. Typed again, then deleted. Finally, Daniel, no. He dropped the phone. I don't even know what to say, he whispered. The world starts to close in. Later that day, Daniel stepped outside. But something felt off. People were whispering, looking, pointing. His chest tightened. What's going on? He muttered. Then his phone buzzed again. A notification. A message from an unknown number. He opened it and froze. It was one of the photos. The same ones Victor had sent, but this time, it wasn't just sent to him. It had been shared. The spread of the past. No, 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 Daniel whispered. His hands shook as he scrolled. Comments. Judgment. Mockery. Isn't this Daniel's wife? Wow. He married this kind of woman? Men will never learn. His chest tightened. Anger. Embarrassment. Pain. All at once. Amara finds out. Across town, Ifeoma rushed into the room. Amara? Something in her voice said everything. What happened? Amara asked, her heart already racing. Ifeoma hesitated, then showed her the phone. Amara stared at the screen, and everything went silent. Her worst fear had just come true, the breaking point. They're everywhere, Amara whispered. Her hands trembled. I tried to leave that life, she said. I tried to be better. Ifeoma held her. You are better. But Amara shook her head. No, not to them. Tears streamed down her face. And now, not to him either. Daniel's anger ignites. Daniel stormed into Tunde's house. Did you see it? He demanded. Tunde nodded slowly. Yes. Daniel ran his hands through his hair. This is too much, he said. Everywhere I go, people are looking at me like I'm a joke. Tunde stood up. Listen to yourself, he said. What? This isn't about you, Tunde said firmly. Daniel froze. The truth Daniel didn't want to hear. She's the one being exposed, Tunde continued. She's the one being dragged, humiliated, judged. Daniel clenched his fists. And what about me? He shot back. I'm her husband, and she's your wife, Tunde fired back. Silence. Heavy. Uncomfortable. A hard reality. You think she wanted this? Tunde continued. You think she's proud of her past? Daniel said nothing. You loved her before you knew, Tunde said. So what changed? The truth? Or your ego? That hit deeper than anything. Amara decides to fight. Back at Ifeoma's place, Amara wiped her tears slowly. They've already seen everything, she said quietly. Ifeoma nodded. So what do I have left to hide? She stood up, her body still weak, but her eyes stronger. I'm done being ashamed, she said. Amara, Ifeoma said softly. No, she continued. I've been running for too long. She picked up her phone. What are you doing? Ifeoma asked. Amara looked at her. I'm taking back my story. A bold move. She opened her social media. Her hands trembled, but she didn't stop. Then she pressed record. Hello, she began, her voice shaking. My name is Amara, and yes, the woman you've been seeing online. She paused, took a deep breath. That's me. The power of truth. Tears filled her eyes, but she kept going. I'm not proud of my past, she said, but I'm not ashamed of surviving it either. Her voice grew stronger. I did what I had to do to stay alive, to eat, to exist. She looked directly into the camera, but that is not who I am today. Daniel watches. At that same moment, Daniel's phone buzzed. He opened it and saw her video. He hesitated, then pressed play. Her final words, I became a better woman, Amara said. I loved honestly. I gave my heart fully. Her voice broke. And if that's not enough for some people, she paused, tears rolling freely now, then maybe those people were never meant to stay. The cliffhanger. The video ended. Daniel sat there, frozen, her words echoing in his mind. This is your wife, Tunde said quietly. Daniel didn't respond because deep down he knew something had shifted, not just in her, but in him too. But the real question was it too late? She told the truth, she faced the world, and now the past is fighting back harder than ever, because some people don't just want control, they want destruction. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, because this is where everything reaches the edge. The moment before chaos, Victor's finger hovered over the screen. One tap. That's all it would take. Amara's heart pounded so loudly she could hear it in her ears. Don't, she whispered. But Daniel didn't move, didn't flinch. Go ahead, he repeated calmly. Victor's eyes narrowed. You think I'm bluffing? Daniel stepped closer. No, he said. I think you're desperate. A battle of power. The tension in the room thickened. Victor laughed, but this time it sounded forced. You really think standing here like a hero changes anything? He asked. Daniel's voice dropped lower. No, but it ends something. Victor tilted his head. Ends what? Daniel looked him straight in the eye. You controlling her. The shift in control. For the first time, Victor hesitated, just slightly, and Amara saw it. You don't have power anymore, she said, her voice stronger now. You only had fear. Victor snapped back quickly. I still have evidence, he said sharply, and we're not afraid of it, Daniel replied. That word? We. Amara looked at him in shock, a crack in the darkness. You said we, she whispered. Daniel didn't look at her immediately, but when he did, there was something different in his eyes. Not judgment, not anger, something softer. I'm still angry, he admitted. I'm still hurt. Her heart sank slightly. But I understand now, he continued. Daniel's realization. I wasn't angry at your past, he said slowly. I was angry that I felt fooled. Amara shook her head. I never meant to make you feel that way. I know, he interrupted gently. That word hit her harder than anything else because for the first time, he believed her. Victor loses control. Enough! Victor shouted suddenly. The calm was slipping. The control slipping. You think this is over? He snapped. You think a few emotional words fix everything? Daniel turned to him. No, he said, but it destroys you. Victor froze. The final push. Daniel stepped forward again. You only win if she stays silent, he said. But she didn't. He gestured toward Amara. She told the world the truth. Victor clenched his jaw. And you, Daniel continued, you're just a man hiding behind threats. The truth exposed. Amara stepped forward too, her voice steady now. You don't own me, she said. Victor laughed bitterly. I made you. No, she said, you trapped me. Silence. You didn't create me, she continued. You tried to destroy me. The breaking point. Victor looked between them. Something was slipping away, something he couldn't control anymore. Fine, he said coldly. Let's end it. He raised his phone again. This time, he pressed the screen. The unexpected outcome. Amara gasped. Daniel didn't move. Victor smirked. It's done, he said. Seconds passed. Then Daniel's phone buzzed, Amara's phone buzzed, Ifeoma's phone buzzed. They all looked. And then confusion. Daniel frowned. This isn't, he muttered. Amara opened hers, her eyes widened. It's not what he said, she whispered. Victor's plan backfires. Victor's smile slowly faded. What? He said. Daniel turned his phone toward him. It's just the same old stuff, he said. Nothing new. Amara looked at Victor. You were bluffing, she said. Victor's silence said everything. The fall of a man. You had nothing left, Daniel said. Victor's jaw tightened. You're finished, Amara added quietly. For the first time, Victor looked small, not powerful, not dangerous, just desperate. The final exit. Victor scoffed. This isn't over, he muttered, but his voice lacked confidence. Daniel stepped closer. It is, he said firmly. Victor looked at Amara one last time, but this time there was no fear in her eyes, only strength. He turned and walked out. The aftermath. Silence filled the room again, but this time it felt different, lighter. Amara slowly sat down, her body shaking. It's over, she whispered. Daniel looked at her, not as a stranger, not as a burden, but as someone he once loved, and maybe still did. The emotional collision. I don't know how to fix this, Daniel said honestly. Amara nodded. I don't either. Silence. But I want to try, he added. Her eyes filled with tears instantly. Even after everything? She asked. He took a deep breath. I can't promise perfection, he said, but I can promise effort. The last question before the end. Amara stood slowly, her heart pounding. Do you still love me? She asked softly. Daniel looked at her. Long, deep, honest. That's the problem, he said quietly. I never stopped. Tears rolled down her face. Hope mixed with fear, because love was still there. But trust, broken, and rebuilding it would be the hardest part of all. Final part 7 is next. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And tell us, is love enough to rebuild a broken marriage, or is trust the real foundation? Say, the truth came out, the past was exposed, the marriage was broken. But sometimes, it's not the truth that destroys love. It's what we choose to do after the truth. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this final part. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, because this ending will stay with you. The quiet after the storm. The room was still. No more threats, no more shouting, no more running, just two people standing in the middle of what used to be love. Amara looked at Daniel carefully, as if one wrong word could shatter the moment. So, what now? She asked softly. The hardest truth, Daniel exhaled slowly. That's the question I've been asking myself, he admitted. He walked a few steps, then stopped. I love you, he said. Amara's heart skipped. But love isn't the problem, he continued. Her expression slowly changed. It's trust. The weight of broken trust. Amara nodded. I understand, she said. No, Daniel replied gently. You feel it, but I don't think you fully understand it. She frowned slightly. Then help me understand. Daniel looked at her. When I look at you, he said, I don't just see your past. He paused. I see the fact that you carried it alone and didn't trust me enough to share it. That hit. Hard. Her side of the story. I didn't tell you because I thought I would lose you, she said, tears forming. And now, he asked quietly. She let out a painful breath. Now I lost you anyway. Silence. Deep. Heavy. The realization. Daniel shook his head slowly. You didn't lose me, he said. Hope flickered in her eyes. But we lost us, he added. And just like that, the hope cracked. A different kind of decision. So what are you saying? Amara asked, her voice trembling. Daniel took his time before answering. I'm saying, he began, if we continue like this, we'll keep hurting each other. Her chest tightened. I don't want that, she whispered. Neither do I. The unexpected choice. Daniel stepped closer. Not too close, just enough. I think we need to start over, he said. Amara blinked. Start over. How? He looked at her. Not as husband and wife. That hurt. But she listened. As two people, he continued, who choose each other, honestly this time. The pain of letting go. Tears rolled down her face. You want a divorce? She asked. Daniel closed his eyes briefly. I don't want to lose you, he said, but I also don't want to hold on to something broken and pretend it's whole. A love that chooses truth. Amara nodded slowly, her heart breaking, but her mind understanding. For the first time, she said softly, we're actually being honest with each other. Daniel gave a small, sad smile. Yeah. The final goodbye. For now. They stood there, looking at each other, not as enemies, not as strangers, but as two people who loved deeply and got hurt deeply. I'm sorry, Amara whispered. For everything, Daniel nodded. So am I. The last moment, he turned to leave, but stopped, then turned back. "One more thing," he said. She looked at him. "If we ever find our way back," he said, "I want it to be built on truth, not fear." Tears streamed down her face. "I promise," she said. Time passes. Weeks later, Amara stood in front of a mirror. Different, stronger, at peace in a way she had never been before. Her past no longer felt like a chain. It felt like something she survived, not something that defined her. Daniel, a man who learned across town, Daniel sat quietly, thinking, healing, learning. He picked up his phone, scrolled, then stopped. It was her, Amara, smiling, living, growing. He stared for a moment, then he smiled too. Life didn't end for them. It changed. Maybe one day they would find their way back to each other, or maybe they would become better people for someone else. But one thing was certain, the truth didn't destroy them. It transformed them. Final message. Some pasts don't break marriages. Silence does. Fear does. Secrets do. And sometimes love isn't about holding on. It's about letting go, so something healthier can grow. Let's talk. What did you learn from this story? Drop it down here. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe if this story touched you. And tell us in the comments, what did you learn from this story? Was Daniel right to step back? Was Amara right to hide her past? Can love survive without trust? Your voice matters.